Hey, currency kings and queens. I'm back with a chart analysis for the opening week of September the 15th. Even though the market opens tonight, Monday is tomorrow. So we're going to analyze my micro NASDAQ chart as well as my micro gold. So let's get into the charts. So I wanted to actually start because I'm putting myself on a timer because I can babble and continue on and on. So with tomorrow being the 15th, we are well into the year. So it's kind of going by pretty darn fast. We had an amazing week last week. It was a little choppy on Friday, Thursday as well, but we were able to get quite a few trades in. So let's go over the news. We have 3:30 news early in the morning on the charts involving Hong Kong's PPI, and the rest of the day is showing up outside of the Canadian. So if you're trading anything as far as anything that has to do with those two, just be aware that there is news. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot. On Tuesday, however, we have some red folder that's Canadian and US related. Wednesday going in, we have red folder. This is for Tuesday, it's during the New York session or pre-market for New York session. So 7:30-ish, our market for futures open at 8:30. So it'll be right before that. So just be mindful, let the market play out and do what it's gonna do. And then we have the 17th BOC rate statement and decision. That is significant news, so just be aware of that. And then the 18th, that is during the New York session, 8:45, 9:30. And then the rest of the week, we have nothing really interfering with the New York session. Everything is either before or after that. So let's get right into the charts. So did anyone do any back testing? Because I said on several of my social medias that you needed to get some back testing in. I'm just trying to give you some friendly advice from a real good friend. No harm, no foul. But let's start with NASDAQ. Let's look at NAS. NAS has been really trending lately. Like I said, it was choppy on Friday, but it's been trending well. We're gonna go start on the daily time frame. As we can see on NASDAQ, we are still on a bullish run. We are bullish. So if you have anything other than bullish trades, then you're counter trend trading, which that's some of your strategies. I understand that, but just be careful with that. The market appears to be doing pretty well. As far as the resistance that it had at this level here, it broke above that and created a level of support right underneath. So just be mindful of, let's actually remove that for NAS. On the 4-hour, I'm gonna mark up our support, our 4-hour support, and we're gonna change the color. Well, I can leave it there. So we have a support level there, and this candle is not closed, so we are not gonna use that for resistance. And then we'll also mark up the previous level of support here. So let's do that. We don't really have much of fair value gaps beneath those two areas, which is the most recent. So as far as the level of resistance, it broke straight through that. So it could come down to a demand area or to a support level that was created on NAS. But dropping down to the smaller time frames is when we like to get in and we fix our support. Let's see. And remember the resistance I showed you on the 4-hour? When you drop down to the 15-minute, look how that looks. It's still at this area, but instead of resistance, it's support on the 15-minute time frame. So let's look at it here and draw that in because we know what it is. What I wanted you to be mindful of, depending on the time frame that you're trading on, because I really like to look at the 15 and the 30-minute. There's a demand zone right here. Sorry, there's a lot of wicks in this area, so it can really confuse you. I'm gonna change the color. What can I make it? Let's make it darker. So if you look on the 30-minute time frame for NAS, it has a demand zone, and remember, we're in an uptrend. So anytime we're in an uptrend, we're looking for demand zones if we're trading supply and demand. So the demand zone that was created here, and if you're not completely secure, there is a small demand zone, but like I said, it's real messy and choppy. Anytime you get mess and chop, go a little higher. The higher time frames tend to have less noise and artifacts. So if you are on the hour time frame, because this is a trade that will get you more ticks due to it being a higher time frame. So if you were going to take that, you could do a 1 to 2. Let's see if our 1 to 2 will qualify for the range of it. That's a 1 to 1 tomorrow if you're trying to get something, but being that we're on an uptrend, let's see where we are with not that. I wanted to do the moving average. No, that's not it. I don't know. SMA. I think that's it. Okay, so the 50 SMA, see how that trend is bouncing? You can see these areas here. It's bouncing smooth off of that that area. So we are in a uptrend on NASDAQ. I am expecting a continuation. We have some retracement abilities. Like I said, it needs to retrace because if it shoots straight up with no support levels, it's kind of not a secure trade for you to continue taking buys in. So on the 15-minute time frame, you have a potential supply zone that it's already looking to be in on the 15 as well as the 30. But like I said, if you go to the 1 hour time frame, which I believe is not closed at this point, you have the possibility to catch a trade if you're doing supply and demand. And there's some support and resistance trades there at that level as well. So for those that are in NASDAQ or taking NAS trades, look for buys. Here, there's a support level, and then there's levels with fair value gaps as well as other demand zones. So it could retrace on you. So just make sure you have confirmations when you're taking these buys. That is all. Let's look at gold. Okay, the overall trend with gold is up. As we know, gold has made some extreme highs. Right now, we're at a high of about 37.14. So it's on a run. Gold is on a pretty good run and has been for a while. And this is on the daily time frame. As you can see on the daily time frame, we have some consolidation that's it's been in. On the 4 hour time frames though, let's go ahead and mark up our support and resistance zones. So 4 hour support zone here at about 36.58, there's support, and then our resistance level is here at about 37.06. 37.06, 37.07, anywhere up in that range, because we do have some wicks in that area. So what we're looking for on gold is a break above or below. There is some demand zones here, but it is a low probability zone. I would not take that. For one being that we have resistance within this range that it's currently in that you can see. So the range for it to go up or down is very slim. So it's best to just wait for this, for a breakout above or below the trend on the 4-hour. But if we're dropping down to the lower time frame to see if we can scalp some of this, of course you can. Like I said, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple top. I don't know, there's resistance there, and it's pretty strong. It's showing you that it does not want to go above those previous areas. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna sit on our hands and wait. But if you can look across the whole trend, while it has been ranging, you can see that it has been struggling to break above these areas. So it's a pretty strong resistance area within the zone. What I would do is wait for a break above or below the 4-hour time frame. That's just me. This is not financial advice. This is just what I would do. Only because there's highs there, and then there is liquidity above, and then there's fair value gaps below. So if it breaks, there has not been as many taps at the support that there has been for resistance. So just pay close attention. It may range in a larger range. It may consolidate in a larger range and just widen where it is now. But for gold, I'm just sitting on my hands. News or morning volume could potentially break through these areas, but just use proper risk management. Y'all know that's my song. I'm gonna sing it. But pretty much with gold, that's all I have. You could potentially catch some trades. We need to see how the market is going to open this evening. We have probably about 14 minutes for this evening, but I typically more than likely won't get into anything until in the morning. So that's all I wanted to come and bring to you. As far as gold with the SMA, the 50, we do have it to where it's breaking through the trend. So consolidation at best is an indicator, a strong indication of a consolidation. So right now I would not do anything at all because it's been trending above but cannot break that. It's trending above the moving average but can't break the resistance, and then now it looks like it's going to break below the moving average, but it's still within this range, 4-hour range. So just wait with gold. You may be a little bit more skilled at catching a trade on NASDAQ as opposed to gold. So don't let it zap y'all's little money out, because as you know, consolidation takes a lot of accounts. So I think consolidation could take more accounts than the actual spikes, the wicks and stuff, the news. So just if you are not real familiar with the markets, let it give you a confirmation of some sort before you hop in. So that's all I've got with gold. That's all I've got with NAS. Let's get in the market this week, y'all, and let's kill it. This is not financial advice. If you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Peace.